What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love. We got another dope topic for you guys today. Continuing on with the conversation about managers, I want to give you guys a couple things to watch out for. Maybe one horror story, but just some things to think about going forward. We're talking about choosing a manager and when choosing a manager goes wrong. I already did another video about, managers as a friend, but I want to generally talk about, what can kind of go wrong with the manager to keep your eyes open so that you guys understand the importance of choosing the right person to represent you going forward. So let's jump into it. Phase 6, let's go. Now, when it comes to choosing a manager, you want to go back and watch some of the other videos I did, Management 101, 102, 103, other management videos in this series, etc., etc. Soak up all this information and understand what a manager does, what a manager, needs to do for the artist, the skills a manager needs to have, etc., etc., so that you can, first off, have a general understanding, a description of what this person is supposed to be to you in your life, right? But I want to tell you what happens when you don't take your time and do your due diligence. Negative things happen. So I know I've recently talked to a couple different artists. So I know some of you guys are going to watch this. Some of you artists that I've personally talked to may watch this and go, oh my God, is this man about to put my story on the internet? The answer is no. I'm about to mix your story with a bunch of other people's story and tell you multiple stories. So there's probably multiple of you going, hey, that sounds kind of like my story, but this stuff is repetitive, So I've been hearing, frequently that artists are having situations where, when money comes into play, the manager and the artist tend to have some type of fallout, right? Some of this is due to the conversation that I just had in the last video about recoupables. And if it wasn't in the last video, it's going to be another video that's up and coming. I'm not sure the order that we're going to release these things in. But recoupables can cause a lot of issues because a manager spends a lot of money in the process of breaking an artist. So when new money comes in, a manager wants their money back. This is one of the areas that can cause a lot of issues up front. But in this situation, the manager got brand new, started treating the artist completely different, took the artist to court, held up the whole artist record deal, stopped the artist budgets, almost killed the record because he was trying to get his and secure his own bag out the situation and couldn't think down the line and think further down the future. I've also seen personally and heard of stories where, managers are picking up multiple acts and managing all these different acts and signing all these acts into different situations that are not management deals but are actually production deals, and controlling the artist's future, their royalties, their publishings, etc., and putting them in a position where they really can't succeed or can't move forward without the manager being involved, without the manager even having to commit to doing anything for the artist. It's all happening because you see this person is in a position of power. They're either curating events or they're helping people get publishing deals, or they're doing something associated with the 5 major streams of income for people in music. They're active in one of these areas, and so artists, have an idolation for them. They're saying, oh man, this person can help me get money, they can help me get on, and they're messing up and ending up in situations where they're completely effed. I just want to say that you guys have to be very careful about vetting out who you're working with. So some things to look at when you're vetting out a manager and you're trying to choose the right person to work for, to work with, is going to be your trust level with this individual. You need to trust and care about this person. Before you sign something, spend some time with a person. Get to know them. Spend some time for a year. It's often that a manager can put in work and go hard when they first get you because they're excited. It's like a new toy. It's like, oh my God, I got this new artist. I want to tinker with it. And they're having all this fun or whatever. But then time goes on, it gets harder, gets staler, phones drying up. They got to go out there and actively work harder and harder and harder. Next thing you know, manager's falling off, they're not taking phone calls, they ain't doing shit, right? And you're signed in a contract with this individual. Now, the beauty of a management contract is that you can fire a manager at any given time. Granted, it's a traditional management contract, but there are contracts with stipulations that make it harder to do that, or can put you in a situation where you can go through lawsuits, etc., etc. So it's best that you date before you get in bed. All right. I know we live in a time period where it's like, hit it, quit it, smash it, smash, bang, whatever the fuck. I'm fucking up all the slang right now. It's late. But we live in that time period where we just hit it and quit it, and we do our thing, we run with it or whatever. So at the end of the day, in music, you can't do that. In music, you need to take your time, date the person, get to know the person, go out a couple times, hang at venues, go to the club, go to the studio, invite them over, let them chill out in your rap sessions, go to their events, get to know who they are, see if your family like them, see if your friends like them. Really figure this mother effer out, because this individual is going to be stuck to your hip like glue. You are getting married to this individual. So in this marriage, before you get married, all of us in this generation typically have commitment issues. So before you commit yourself to this person, take the time to get to know them. That's number one. Take the time to get to know the person, because when you don't know a person, you can see all the bullshit. The moment you get into an agreement and you start getting blinded because you have like this false sense of trust, like the agreement gives you false trust, like a marriage. Like, oh, we're married now, we're not going to cheat on each other. Bullshit. You can cheat just as often in a marriage as you could as a boyfriend and girlfriend. A title doesn't give any bearance on what's going to happen in the relationship, but it can blind people. So before you blind yourself by saying, oh, this is my manager, he has my back, it's his job to have my back, or her job to have my back and take care of me, get to know the person and see if they're really that person, okay? The number two thing you need to do is you need to look them up, Google them, see if they've worked with anybody else, if there's a history of them doing any shady things with anyone else, you can know what type of person you're with. Look them up. Now, a lot of times managers don't have a lot of press on them, because if you're a good manager, it is not your job to be seen. It is not your job to be in the public. It's not your job to be doing interviews. If you're a good manager and you talk to Double XL, you're not saying, hey, Double XL, do a piece on me. You're saying, hey, Double XL, do a piece on my artist. Therefore, it may make it very hard for you to background check, these different people that are considering you. But it doesn't hurt to try. Background checking is extensive now. You don't just got to Google them, follow them on Instagram, follow all their other social media platforms. Really get to feel them out. Ask other people about them. See who they follow. See who follows them. See what they're around. Really get a feel for who's liking their pictures. Like, are they in the game? Are they not in the game? Who's fucking with them, right? Something to do. Do your homework. Number 3, you want to make sure you want to watch the previous videos like I talked about before. You want to make sure that they have some type of skills, that they have one of the 3 things, or that they're working towards one of the 3 things. You want to make sure they have some history in the game. They've interned, they've learned something, or they want to make sure they're passionate about this shit. They really want to do this. You really want to vet out these different things, because I've seen a lot of scenarios in which artists are getting hurt by management. A lot of times, I actually was sitting in a meeting one time, and it was very awkward, because the guy in the meeting was pretty much like, oh yeah, you're the manager, right? Oh yeah. So you're gonna be the one fucking them out all their money, right? Getting all that money, how you gonna get that check, bro? I feel you. And I'm just looking at the guy like, yo, what the f is wrong with you? I didn't agree with any of his philosophies throughout the conversation, but it was a scenario in which I was doing business with the guy, and I needed to appease him for whatever reason. I don't even recall what we were working on or whatever, but I was in a situation where that's common practice for certain groups of people and how they move. Not necessarily how I move, I'm not with it, but it is common practice. It's a common thing. There are managers out here that are actively fucking artists and being manipulative, just like a player is trying to play a girl. I'm acting like I love you, but I'm really just trying to smash. You got the exact same mentality with managers and how they're treating artists. Now, it's not something to make you all scary, because there's also a lot of people that just want to do the right thing. But a really good manager is not jumping into no relationship with an artist, because a good manager knows this is a marriage, and I ain't trying to marry everybody I see. So no manager is just trying to jump into all these different situations. So I want to make you aware of that and bring these types of things to your attention and let you know that this is going on. So choose your managers wisely. The whole purpose of this video is for me to say, choose your managers wisely. Take your time, get to know people, figure it out, study them, research them, check their skills, ask them questions. Date before you get married. That is my tip of today. Date before you get married to any manager that's trying to work with you in the game, so that you can avoid getting screwed. Also, check out, the management 101 thing that I got out there now. It's going to be something that's really helpful with you to help you learn what a manager is supposed to be for you as an artist. If you are a manager, it's designed for you to learn how to be a manager. And then there's also management contracts and different things like that on the website. That way you can look at one and understand what a manager is supposed to do for you and get it in your head from the contractual standpoint. The contract says you're supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do this. I mean, it'll make it very clear for you to understand the manager-artist relationship. Plus, if you get that contract, and when some manager gives you a contract, you'll know what they look like. So you'll say, hey, this doesn't look like what I think it's supposed to look like. I didn't see this type of language in the contracts that I've seen before. Like, you'll have some bearings and to say, because the trick of the game is to make the title say one thing, but the context say something else. So the top of the page can say management agreement, but in there it can say, we own publishing and we have, this. You fuck around and sign a 360 record deal and not even know it, thinking it's just a management deal. I actually had a scenario like that I had to help an artist get out of. Not get out of, but help an artist clean up and prevent. He was getting ready to sign a deal and decided to hit me up, and we linked up the day before he was going to meet with the people to sign the contract. He thought it was a management deal. It was a 360 deal, and it was a fucked up 360 deal at that. So, it's crazy out here. And I tell you guys, it's crazy out here. Just because people are flexed up on the gram and doing all this other type of stuff does not mean that they're for you. So take advantage of all the resources that are out there, not just what I have. You don't have to get anything that I have. You don't have to shop with me at all, but go out there and find it somehow. Get with someone that can vet and teach you this stuff, that can help you, really figure out how to get yourself straight. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And when I get in front of this camera, what do? I give you guys everything that I got. The only thing I ask you to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, go on the website, send me a message, text me, whatever you want to do. I encourage you guys to learn and grow and build yourself up in the music business. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about you building yourself up in the game. Now we're talking about management as that process. So stay beamed in. Stay beamed in. Stay beamed in. Let's get it. Sirr Love. I'm out of here.